Hey, what's up, guys? It's Corey here with Dapper Dollars, and today we're going to talk about the 3 things that Aemetis talked about on their conference call that have me believing that this is going to be a $40 stock in the future. You ready? Let's get started. So, this channel is all about using online income opportunities like Merch by Amazon and Etsy to build our income and then invest this income in things like stock market and real estate to build our financial freedom for ourselves and our families. If that sounds like something you're interested in, like and subscribe, and let's get started. So, the 3 things that they talked about on this conference call that have me believing that this stock is going to $40 a share is number 1, the beneficial relationship of renewable natural gas in the dairy farms, the biodiesel market in India, and the renewable natural gas projects that they have going on for jet fuel in the future. So, let's get into this and go through each one and see exactly what is going on here and what it means for Aemetis in the future and growing their company. Number 1, let's talk about the beneficial relationship they have with dairy farms in California. So we all know in the last video that I did on Aemetis, I'll link that here, they had a presentation that went out that showed that Aemetis is in a very beneficial spot in America specifically because California is the #1 spot for dairy cows in the United States. And with these dairy farms, they have things called dairy lagoons that Aemetis has used to capture the methane runoff from that and create renewable natural gas in the future. However, there is a very beneficial relationship that Aemetis outlined on this conference call that makes a lot of sense and shows that they are going to take advantage of this and benefit themselves and the globe as a whole. So, what is this beneficial relationship? Well, if you know anything about Aemetis, you know that they also use ethanol to produce hand sanitizer they use ethanol to produce alcohol that is used in hand sanitizer. So, how do you produce ethanol? Well, you need grain to produce ethanol. So, what they do is ferment this grain to produce the alcohol that's used in hand sanitizer, and what's left over is the enriched grain that is now enriched, and so it is higher in protein and other supplements. So, what they do with this, being that they live in the largest dairy capital in the U.S., they sell this grain to the dairy farms that are around them. So right now they have about 80,000 not 80,000, they have 80 dairy farms that they sell to and over 100,000 dairy cows on those farms. So then the grain is taken to those cows, the cows eat the grain, then the cows produce the runoff for the dairy lagoons. The waste from the dairy cows goes to the dairy lagoons, which captures all that waste and then is directed from there to they clean the waste that is taken from these dairy lagoons, and then it is injected into the pipeline that goes to Aemetis' refineries to produce renewable natural gas. Then that renewable natural gas powers the Aemetis vehicles and supply chain. So, number 1, they're making money from the hand sanitizer that they're selling. They're making money from the grain that they're selling to the cows. And then the renewable natural gas that is produced from the cows is then used to power their trucks and then also put into the pipeline through PG&E in California to go to renewable natural gas stations. And in the future, they're also talking about having this injected into the residential pipelines for people who have natural gas in their homes. So Aemetis has built a pretty insane opportunity here because it is just, like we said, a cyclical relationship that is 100% beneficial to Aemetis. They're making money in every area of this transaction, and so it is incredibly important that they build this out. Right now, they're in phase 1 of a 3-phase process. They have their first 2 dairy digesters built and working, and they're producing that renewable natural gas. And the thought in the future is that they're going to have 20 of these dairy digesters going, which will in turn produce $40 million per year in annual cash flow for Aemetis just from this, the dairy renewable natural gas section of their business. That is pretty incredible. And just remember, this is only one part of the things that they're doing that are really going to help their business. So let's move on to the second part. The second part that we mentioned is that the biodiesel market in India. The biodiesel market in India is much more than they have capacity for right now. In fact, if you combine all the companies that are able to produce biodiesel for India or in their area of the world, it is just a third of what the country actually needs to keep going. I think they need 1.25 billion gallons of biodiesel to meet their needs and that the country has. Now, there is a little bit of an issue here, and it's definitely beneficial for Aemetis in that India is not allowed to purchase biodiesel from other countries. So you have to, India only accepts and uses domestically produced biodiesel fuel, which is great for Aemetis because they have a plant in India that produces biodiesel fuel. And they are, I think in their conference call, they did say that they were the largest producer and potentially the largest seller of biodiesel in 2020 for India. This is huge, and it shows that there is a massive market that Aemetis can step up into to meet their 2025 predictions of being, if you look at the last video that I did, like I mentioned before, they have some insane projections of what this company can do in the future, which might take it even over $40 a share, but I like to be conservative. So right now, with everything that's going on, I think that $40 a share is safe. But again, let's get back to the fact that India has a massive market that needs to be addressed. Aemetis is in that market. Aemetis is currently producing biodiesel for India, and they can expand their operations there. They can do upgrades, and they talked about potentially having more plants open in India. So this is a great need. However, there has been an issue with the price of feedstock and grain and ethanol going up, which has made it non-profitable for Aemetis to produce biodiesel in India. But once these price corrections happen, Aemetis will begin production in India and will lead to, I think, $150 million in revenue for Aemetis just from India. So definitely keep an eye on this, and this is going to be one of those things that just catapults Aemetis into the upper brackets of success. And keep in mind, guys, right now Aemetis is not even valued at $1 billion company. With everything that they're doing, this has to be a $5 to $10 billion company. Once it is fully operational, it is going to be insane. So right now, I believe that Aemetis is at a true bargain, and I will likely be buying until a certain price point that we'll talk about later. But anyway, let's move on to the final part of what Aemetis is doing great, and that is the fact that they are planning on producing jet fuel from wood waste in the future. So again, Aemetis is in the perfect opportunity because they are in California, and California is also known for producing almonds. And when these almonds are cleared every 20 years, they produce around 4 billion pounds of wood waste. And this wood waste is what Aemetis is wanting to use to convert all of that stuff into renewable natural gas for jet fuel use. And this is a great opportunity because just like the dairy digesters that they can collect runoff from, they have also signed a contract with the almond producers in California, a 20-year contract to collect the wood waste at a lower cost than would have naturally been expected, because at this point, no one has ever offered to buy it or take it away. They've just been burning the wood that has been collected. So $4 billion worth of wood being burned or $4 billion worth of wood being converted into renewable natural gas is a much better option, because like with the dairy digesters, they're creating a negative emission product with the dairy renewable natural gas. And the same is going to be said about the renewable natural gas jet fuel, because they are not burning the fuel, they are not taking the wood and putting the carbon emissions into the air from burning it. They are instead putting it into actual use to propel a plane in the sky. So it is a negative emission fuel and something that will potentially produce $230 million in revenue and around $60 million in free cash flow. Right now, they are able to produce about 45 million gallons per year. They will be able to produce 45 million gallons per year. This site is still under construction right now and has yet to be built. However, this is part of their 2025 plan of having this site built and producing by 2025, and will add that additional $60 million per year of cash flow. And so with all of these things in mind, guys, and what we talked about a little bit ago, the fact that they are valued so low, I think they're even valued under a $500 million market cap right now, so the value on this stock is insane. The fact that it is so undervalued at this point is just ridiculous. And it is one of those stocks that is flying under the radar, and it is just laying a solid foundation for a massive expansion in the future. And in my opinion, this is one of those stocks. I'm not going to say it's a Tesla. I'm not going to say it's an Amazon, but it is potentially a 10x in the future. For sure, a 10x in the future within the next 10 years. I definitely think it's going to 40 within about 5 years. But anyway, this is all just my opinion. And again, I am not a financial advisor. Consult a professional financial advisor before you make any decisions about your money. I am just a guy on YouTube giving you my opinion about a stock that I care a lot about. But I have made a ton of money on this stock. And I'll show my stuff over here. And I love this stock. I am fully invested in this stock. I've bought it at $2, I bought it at $8, and I bought it at $11. So I am not afraid to keep buying this stock and keep buying it even if it becomes more expensive in the future. Because like I said, I still think it is a bargain at where it is now. So anyway, that's my opinion on the conference call. I love listening to these things because it really gives you an in-depth perspective on what the people who run this company are thinking. Anyway, I would love to hear your thoughts on what is going on, and if you think Aemetis is a great value, or if it's just, you think it's something else. Anyway, let me know in the comments section below. I hope you guys have a great day and a great week, because it's Monday. At least, it's Monday where you're at. I'm filming this on Sunday, so it's kind of a little bit of a look in the future. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day and have a great week. And remember, someone is going to do something amazing every day, guys. Why not you? See ya.